Turn your old iPhone 7 into a new iPhone 10. Can I possibly be serious? Did I learn the magical alchemy process of turning lead into gold of iPhones? No, but as close as possible, I will show you how to turn your old iPhone 7, relatively old, into a new iPhone 10, both in looks and in behavior. I mean, the software, that's very important here too. So basically, your old iPhone will be able to do almost everything a new one can do, but without spending $1,000 on it. And yeah, I've done this video before with the old iPhone 6S version. Honestly, it turned out better than I thought, but still not great. Now, there's a new kit that's way more accurate, way more detailed, since this thing was actually made before the iPhone 10 came out. So they changed up some things and the software is different too. So let's go ahead and cover how to turn your iPhone 7 into an iPhone 10. I got the latest and greatest kit right here. So very curious to see how it differs. And the kicker is there's a product red version. So if you wanted a color that the iPhone 10 does not officially come with, you could do it. So let's check it out. Ooh, nice and popping red in here. So I'll turn the camera around here and I'll show you guys the latest and greatest from China. Okay, so here I've got my donor phone, which obviously you will need. iPhone 7s have come down in price a lot. You can get a used one on eBay for around $250 to $300. I've seen them that low. So, you know, it's not so much risk. You're not risking $1,700, $800 phone to do this with. But let's check out what the results could possibly be. So product red. I'm actually interested to see if they have the little label down there, because that would be a nice touch. And already I can tell that the unit itself is looking way better. I mean, the finish of it looks great. The camera lens looks way more realistic. I mean, if I actually saw this, I'd have a hard time differing it from the real one. Well, not in this color, obviously, but oh. Okay, great. I love that they updated the text. See, on the old one, it was apparent that from that alone, it was not real. But that one, definitely looking better. I'm disappointed they did not do the product to red, but that looks fantastic. Definitely a huge improvement from the old one. So as you can see, the flash will go here. They tried to mask it. So I'm curious to see how the performance will differ from the official one. But it looks fantastic. I mean, look at that evolution. The edges look great. Closer to the real one, of course. They do come with the gear you need, and they started including the battery stickers too, which is helpful. Let's check out the other one. So I got a space gray color as well. This was not available at the time at the other kit, so it's good to see that they evolved in their design as well. Okay, so let's check it out. And ooh, that is nice. I am surprised. I really like this actually. So the text looks great. I mean, next to the official one, it looks literally like an iPhone 10. I mean, look at that. You can see that it's not as dark. The Apple logos, they're a little lighter. The lenses though, I mean, it looks just about the same size-wise, positioning, much, much better than the old version. So already I can tell that this is going to be way more convincing. And the cool thing is it's thinner than the official iPhone 10. So your iPhone 10 kit could be thinner and slimmer, more comfortable to hold. On the bottom, as you can see, you're not going to be missing the headphone jack because you never had it in the first place. Unlike on this one, we actually had to get rid of it entirely. So, okay, I love how it looks. The text has been updated. The color is accurate. The lens actually looks like the real deal. So once we get everything in there, very curious to see how it'll turn out. So yeah, this will not be an easy process. Yes, you guys will need some hands-on work disassembling your iPhone 7. So I recommend the iFixit guides, which I'll link down below in the description. But if you guys do want to go ahead and see how to install this, I will show you that. And at the end, the software bit. So I'll show you how to actually get convincing iPhone 10 software on your device and make it look and feel like an iPhone 10 and actually have some of the features it does. All right, let's get to it. And just a little checklist here to make sure you guys have everything you need. With the kits, you'll actually get the tools, but I'm going to use my own from iFixit here. I would recommend one of these. They really help to keep track of the screws because positioning is very important. And it's quite a process, so I'll basically skip over the harder points, but do a little time lapse for you guys so you can see how it went. I've never done this to an iPhone 7, so this will be a first, but you know, I love challenges, so let's get to it. So I decided to end up going with the product red version just because of how unique it is. Everyone's seen an iPhone 10 in space gray, but what about product red? And in comparison with the official one, it's not too far off actually. Color-wise, it's just the matte versus glass finish over here. Obviously, can't have both here. and no labels down there. But otherwise, looking pretty clean, pretty similar. Everything, even the ports, the silver, attention to detail. So I do like that. These look pretty dang close. All right, so to get started, we need a heat gun, and because of the adhesive on the iPhone 7, you want to loosen that with some heat. Next up, remove the two P2 bolts on the bottom. Goes in just like butter since it is heated up, and this seal is sold. It's literally like $1 or $2 on eBay, so not a big deal to replace it to keep your water resistance. You can do that. Now this is the new iPhone 7 series, so it does open up to the right and it's ready to go. So open it to the side and we are in. Now you want to go ahead and remove this plate and this plate up here in order to remove the display, and that's it. Your iPhone screen is separated. So set that aside, and now down to the difficult stuff. So now I would recommend you guys follow closely with an iFixit guide, but I will give you some pointers along the way. I'm going to start by removing the Taptic engine down here. And first off, actually just unplug the power. That way, if anything happens, there's no energy going through there. Next up, we're going to remove the grounding brackets. So first off, get this flathead out of the way here. And then beneath it, you want to go ahead and pry the little grounding bits upwards. And the 3 flathead screws located right here, and right here. The last one's holding the logic port in place. But first off, do unplug this connector. All right, it's ready to be pulled up. Just like that, there are the brains of your iPhone 7 series. Hard part's over, so now we just basically got to remove the battery and all of these connectors, volume buttons, replace those, and the lightning bit down here. Okay, so I've transplanted that portion. Next up, I want to remove the battery. This part is a little tricky, but nothing you can't do, especially now that all the components are out of the way. Should be pretty easy. Basically, peel back the adhesive strips holding the battery in place. Be very gentle not to pierce lithium battery. You definitely do not want to do that. Okay, and I think I got it. All right, so this part is a little tricky, but not too difficult. Basically, you want to take one edge of the metal bracket, remove it here, and then one of these sides will pop up just like that. As you can see, I've loosened it, and then once you pry it up, then you pry it out and it comes out, and reinstall it the same way for every single one in the new shell. Do make sure that the buttons are clicky, so that way you'll know you got it right. They are working. And with these cables reapplied, let's go ahead and reassemble this thing the same way we deassembled it. So little time lapse for you. Really too much footage to throw into one video, but basically use the iFixit guide to throw everything back together. All right, and just go ahead and power it on to check that everything is working. And it is, before you pop the display back in. All right, guys, so we are golden. Everything is working on the front end and on the back. Look at that. So we've got the genuine iPhone 10 look with a spin with the product red color. So I gotta say, definitely feels just like an iPhone 7 would, but it's got the premium glass back, which actually feels pretty great. And depending on which color you choose, you're gonna get a different finish, of course, but the red I like. So the flash unit is right there, and the camera, the bottom one, does look a little bit funny upon closer inspection, but the top one fits pretty well. And overall, I'd say the hardware part of this bit is pretty dang good. It feels great next to a product red iPhone 7. It looks pretty good, so it's a nice spin on your older iPhone, but next to an actual iPhone 10, it looks pretty dang close. The lenses, as you can see, very high quality on this aftermarket shell. It looks really, really good, about the same as the official one. I'd say that this is a success so far. So that is the hardware part, really great. So let's go ahead and take a look at the software. And believe it or not, it is entirely possible to get the whole iPhone 10 experience on older iPhones, including the iPhone 7, which we have created to look like an iPhone 10. So from the lock screen, I'm going to go ahead and bring over a certain device that already has this implemented. We are able to get the same features here, the swipe up to unlock. Of course, we can't reproduce Face ID without the 3D module, but close enough we can get a similar experience on the lock screen, at least to swipe up. Also, our 3D touch toggles here, like the flashlight, in order to turn that on from there really easily. The camera buttons right there, really cool. So that is possible. Also, we do have the iPhone 10 status bar up here. And when we slide from the top right, as you can see, the control center is activated as well. Super cool. Very, very similar experience here. It has been ported entirely to my iPhone 7. It even says the carrier name on the lock screen. But if I go ahead and unlock this device, inside you will see that changes to the time on the top left. So here's where it gets really interesting. The behavior or the gestures of the iPhone 10 are now possible on older iPhones using a swipe up. And as you can see, swipe up will basically go to the app switcher here, just like it would on the iPhone 10. Jumping into an app, if you swipe up, it'll go home. swipe to the right to bring up the last most recently used app, and this is the iPhone X experience on older iPhones. You don't even need that home button anymore. Get used to not even using it ever again. So I think it's so cool how you can reproduce it on older phones, and it works perfectly. Now there's some things of course you won't get, like the organic LED display, the notch for example, but that's something I'm sure you will not miss. Overall though, I gotta say it works absolutely well. So what is it? It's called Fluidity, and it's only available unfortunately for devices on this firmware. So if you are on iOS 11.1.2, 11.1.1, 11.1 or lower, you are able to install it. Otherwise, if you're on 11.2, 11.2.5, you can't do it. So you can get half the experience with the shell, but not the entire UI of the iPhone X, which is unfortunate. So if you guys are on that firmware, you're able to get it and reproduce the iPhone X in its entirety. So these two things combine to give you the ultimate iPhone X experience without having to spend over $1,000 on it. So just wanted to say, guys, thanks so much for watching. This was pretty interesting for me because the amount of detail they put into this shell is really quite great. And I love how it looks like a product red iPhone on an iPhone that Apple would never release it on. So I think that's a very nice touch. Overall though, love the outcome of this project. So thanks for watching, guys. Just another iPhone mod I'm bringing to you. If you want to grab one of these, they're pretty cheap, like 40, 50 bucks down below in the description. Hope I helped you if you wanted to do this. Peace.